What's going on, YouTube? This is Dave's Daily Trades, where I bring you daily AMC technical analysis, price predictions, and of course, the latest and greatest news. I want you guys to bear with me as I am in a hotel room right now. Wi-Fi is a little ass, if I have to say so. I'm on my old camera, old microphone, so video quality and audio quality is not going to be the greatest. But without further ado, I do want to jump into and break down exactly what happened today. So, of course, in early pre-market today, we did dip down, but we did come up to a high today of right around $40.87. Once we did hit that high, we were pretty much just slammed all afternoon, even into close, I would argue here. Closed the day at $38.29 and hit our low of $38.05. Now, of course, during yesterday's video, I did briefly discuss some price action that I was expecting today, and it played out almost identical to what we were predicting on the channel, guys, which is always good. We expected a bounce somewhere around that $38 range, right around that $38.05 to $38.15 range. Exactly what happened. And AMC was down minus 3.37% for today. But of course, guys, it does not matter one bit, as we always discuss on the channel. So I'm going to jump over to the 1 hour chart and we'll go over some key levels that we have to gauge for tomorrow. All right. So as we can see, we did dip down and have dipped down the past 2 days. Of course, we are off that recent high of 45.95. But of course, what we have been discussing is the, here, let me pull this up for you guys and redraw this out. And apologies, I'm not used to my Mac over here. But we're going to grab the Fibonacci retracement, and we're going to go from the low at 34.53 all the way to the high over here at 45.95. So what we discussed is really bottoming out somewhere in this range right here. Now, if we look down at the MACD, well, the MACD looks pretty healthy. Of course, it is in that red state, in that bearish state, as we can say here, but it looks like this is slowing down, and we are expected to see some type of turnaround in the next couple of days. Now, is this selling pressure over? Well, I personally believe that the next, or I'm just going to even say tomorrow, is going to be the low day. When we do hit that low, we are going to, in my opinion, start the reversal into tomorrow. And why do I think that? Well, we're going to jump into some articles over here as well. So the first comes from Pinoy Ape on Twitter and really just broke it down very, very great for us. So if we look back at historical data, and of course, we've all been comparing that early to mid-May run-up to what we're seeing right now. And as you guys can see in the very simple terms right here, we do have this high, we have a low, we have a kind of in-between high, that last dip, and that last dip led us to that massive June 2nd run-up. Now, what are we seeing here? Well, we're seeing this last dip play out. Now, of course, guys, this dip could go on. I believe it was definitely happening for today. It could happen a little bit into tomorrow and potentially even to Thursday. But my guess of where we're headed is I think tomorrow is really going to put the bottom in, and we are going to start this next climb up to all-time highs within probably the end of the week or early next week. So next week, incredibly bullish on, but I think a lot of this starts at the end of this week, potentially Thursday and Friday. And if we look here, of course, on the left is leading up to that June 2nd run-up. And on the right-hand side here is current date AMC. And guys, I mean, this played out almost identical, like I said before, to that mid-May run-up that we saw before that June 2nd massive run to all-time highs. Now, of course, guys, we do have this gap right here, which exactly played out on this most recent chart. So that's totally fine. But look at, of course, we all love the George W's, and that's exactly what played out. So we had this George W over here, kind of flattened out and then gapped down. All right. Well, if we look over here, we have this George W. We ran a little bit more than expected, but this last George W should lead us right to that massive move up. So, of course, this kind of grayed out area over here is what I'm expecting for tomorrow. So we should have a decent run early morning and then start to cool off in the early trading session. But of course, that, guys, is literally the last dip before the rip. Now, a lot of things going on within the overall market. So, of course, inflation data came out and it was high, guys, a lot higher than expected. So, that CPI came in at 6.2%, and the expected was 5.9. So, we are kind of a little above schedule on the inflation, which definitely puts some pressure on the Fed to start their or to really get rid of and stop the quantitative easing that has been going on and move into this tapering phase. So, of course, guys, that is not always the greatest thing for the market, as we've seen in past times back in 2018 and previous as well. When that does turn and kick on, of course, the market doesn't perform so well. And of course, AMC and GameStop, BlackBerry, all these other various meme stocks, having that negative beta is absolutely huge. And if we do have a pullback in the overall market, we can expect AMC to perform very well. And of course, guys, a lot of people know that this tapering that is going to go on is going to bring the market down. The way they can hedge their portfolio is move towards stocks with that negative beta. So that's exactly what we want to see. Now, of course, guys, the greatest trader in history, I'm just kidding about that, but Nancy Pelosi's husband actually took a position, and quite a large position, in AMC today, according to this 13F document right here. So, of course, guys, if you have been following Unusual Whales, they really like to track Nancy Pelosi's positions within her husband's hedge fund company. And, of course, that company performs ridiculously well. They strictly do not lose. And anyways, them taking a position in AMC really shows me that, what does Nancy Pelosi know that, other people like the general public doesn't actually know? Because a lot of her plays are really based on insider information that she gets directly from the White House, and just various members of the Congress and Senate and you name it over there. So to see this, absolutely huge. I like to see it. And some weird name, Alliance Bernstein LP right here. As we can see, the average share price was right around $47.37 and just about 600,000 shares, which is quite a bit. That is a very large position to make. So having Nancy Pelosi on board, absolutely fine with it. Now, guys, I know everyone has been talking about Evergrande, and this tweet actually comes out from the Morning Brew. Definitely a great place. I literally read this, the Morning Brew, every single morning just to see what's going on in the overall market. Definitely check them out. And no, I'm not associated with them in any way, shape, or form. But anyways, they did tweet at, this was probably, what time is it now? 5. So just about like 2 p.m. Eastern time today, saying Evergrande, the second largest real estate developer in China, has officially defaulted on its bonds. It was unable to make the required interest payments in time. And that's really the message that the general AMC community had today, that Evergrande defaulted. Now, an update on this that literally just came out recently was that Evergrande has actually made at least 2 overdue bond interest payments per Bloomberg. So, of course, guys, a lot of different things going on with Evergrande, and obviously we really haven't had the greatest information come out based on, the Chinese Communist Party potentially hiding some information, or, a lot of variables coming into play. But really the biggest thing of why I've been tracking this, just to give you guys a little insight, is because lots of institutions have actually been investing, such as BlackRock, investing into Evergrande and various other real estate companies throughout China. And as we all know, this issue is not strictly with just Evergrande. It's with literally every single real estate developer in China right now. It's a massive, massive issue. So if we do start to see defaults come from massive players in the real estate developer space, well, of course, we are absolutely going to see some issues play out in the United States as well. So, of course, guys, as I said before, with that inflation data that came out higher than expected, with the tapering that's hopefully coming out in the next couple of weeks, months, who knows, really on the timing with that. But, of course, that isn't really great for the market. And then throw in this housing bubble crisis going on in China and the implications that it can actually bring over here to the United States market, well, we're on a very shaky market right now. And that's really where that negative beta plays out for AMC, GameStop, and those negative beta stocks. But really, the biggest thing, guys, is we are literally so close. We are literally days away to start our run to all-time highs. I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are freaking dialed, because this is going to be truly amazing. All right, guys, peace out. Tune in for the next one, and I'll talk to you.